I think the most important thing about Concerto Barocco, as with all of Balanchine's ballets, is that it's the marriage of music and movement. Dancers are visual representations of the music, and that was always where Balanchine started, was with the music. He was a fine musician, and he knew every score intimately before he started choreographing. Balanchine considered himself a craftsman of the art of dance. He didn't think of himself as a genius. He was very well aware of his talent, but he was a worker. He created ballets for the company, for his dancers, whatever was required. And in Concerto Barocco, of course, there's a string orchestra and then the two solo violinists, and there's the first violin and the second violin, who are represented by female principal dancers, and a man who really is like a porter. He just carries the girl around, but he has to look nice and do it well. It's actually very challenging partnering. But the corps de ballet is the string orchestra, and the two soloists are the soloists in the orchestra. So that's very clear for the audience watching the piece. You really hear the counterpoint, and the interaction musically is all reflected on stage. But the thing that's really important to remember is that Balanchine had dancers of every size and shape in his company. What was most important was, more than anything, the personality of the performer. It had to be good technique, that's fundamental, because the ballets are difficult and they have to be clean or the choreography is lost. But it was the character of the dancer that most interested him. I've been staging his ballet since 1964, and what I always feel as a repetiteur, if something doesn't feel right to me physically, I have made a mistake, because the choreography is so organic that dancers sometimes find it difficult in the beginning, but once they learn it, once they really learn it, it feels good in your body. And if it doesn't feel good, there's something wrong.
I made the ballet, I think, in '78, so that's already 32 years ago. It's unbelievable. And since then, it's a ballet which is, I think, done now by 22 companies in the world.
He found the music from a friend in Germany, and since Hans is always inspired by music, so his ballets are very musical. And since Piazzolla is up to date, still very attractive to many people, this ballet is also, and it's done to this music, and it's a musical ballet.
If you make a tango ballet for the stage, that is much different than you do it in a ballroom, because I do it on point shoes, so that is already different.
And all his ballets are different, but they all have the signature of Hans, that he always works with men and women, dancers, who are equal. So it's never that the men are very, very, very strong and the ladies are weak. No, the ladies in Hans van Manen's ballets are very strong as well.
I like people, if I work with them, that are risky. You know, I like risky people. So if I choreograph with people, they have to go. And if they make a mistake, I don't care, because if they're risky, and you have those people, I don't work very often with them, they are too careful. And if you're careful, you won't come a step further.
They have to be very down to earth. They have to be very musical, rhythmical. They should not have, how do you say, little habits. He doesn't like little ballerinas who are doing all kinds of shishi things, but he likes dancers who believe in themselves, who know what they're doing, and who love to dance.
Everybody expects always that you renew yourself every time you make a piece of art, which is not possible. It goes step by step. But I made totally different kind of ballets anyway, and then you can make small steps. And of course, if you see a choreography of me today, or from 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, they're very different. And I hope that I always make a step ahead. And I choreograph now already 50 years, and I'm very happy with it, and I love it. And I'm nearly 80 years old, and I won't stop.
Paquito is one of the most challenging of the classical ballets in that it is technically very difficult for everybody in the ballet, from the corps de ballet to the soloist to the principal dancers. It is equally as physically and technically difficult. So it's a great challenge for any company to do a ballet like this. It's very exciting, it's very brilliant. There is a lot of, as I said, technical things and difficult things which dancers have to do well to excite the audience. And so I think the audience get a great thrill and a great joy out of a ballet like Paquito. The most important thing for me as a choreographer is to actually work with artists who really care and really understand and have a great desire for the profession, for the work that they do. You have to completely give your whole body and soul up to dance. You know, it's a very, very difficult profession, mentally and physically. And so for a choreographer, for me personally, to work with artists, work with dancers, not only classical dancers, but also character artists as well, who all want and have the same passion that I do for the art form. So that is very, very important for me. And also to work with dancers who are intelligent and quick and clever and bright and ambitious also. I think that's very, very important. A choreographer gets his food from a dancer. He choreographs from dancers. I do especially. So for me, the most important thing is to have a dancer in front of me who has all those combinations to make me work better.